Welcome, everyone. It's really nice to be back now to school.
So nice to be back.
Yes, and it was a nice summer. I think we can agree. It was a really nice summer.
Did you get to travel this summer?
No, I didn't. I stayed in Austria, enjoying the Austrian summer, you could say.
That's nice, though. I actually went to Graz for the first time the other day, so that was interesting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but it feels so good to be back in the halls of FH Kärnten.
Definitely.
And with our second year, our third and fourth semester.
Yes, and this is the 7th episode, I believe, of the podcast.
7th episode. It's hard to keep track now.
Yeah, it's like, we are like, oh my God, we've been so far now. And we had so many podcasts, so really interesting podcasts with about interviews and a game show. Please, if you check the game show, it's hilarious.
The game show is really fun.
It's hilarious. So yeah, and we have today a new episode, and we are gonna introduce maybe some professors.
So we decided to have an episode where we get to introduce you to some of our professors here in the program of digital marketing and sales, intercultural management, and then maybe in future episodes, some teachers from engineering side of the school. So we decided to do this because we didn't really get, I guess, a thorough introduction of like who these teachers are and what their, personal philosophies are.
Definitely. We practically didn't know anyone, any other professor beside our program director. So I think it's a really good get to know your professors, and so the new students and also maybe the other students that don't know some parts of the university get to know our lecturers and a little bit about them also. So I think
this episode is just going to be a little bit of a meet your professor, and we'll have 3 professors on this episode. We're going to have Janet Brown, Eithne Knappitsch, and also Stafan Dreisiebner.
Yeah, exactly. So we invite our first professor to please join us.
So now we're here with our first professor, Janet Brown. So welcome, Janet.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity to be here for your excellent podcast. I think it's a fabulous idea. I love the name as well, Between Classes, to show there is a life between classes as well, and that you can use those moments constructively. So thank you very much for the invitation, Claudia and Sophia. Thank you for asking me to join you.
Of course.
Of course. Thank you for coming. It's a pleasure for us too.
So I guess to start things off, can you introduce yourself, just what you do here at the school, where you're from? So go ahead.
Yeah, so my name's Janet Brown, and as you might gather from my name, I am not Austrian, although I am in the meantime married to an Austrian, and I do have 2 Austrian boys born in Villach. So I have been here now for 26 years, and I am officially, you might want to learn a new German word that I also had to learn, which is Dienstälteste, which means I am the member of staff at the School of Management that has been here the longest.
Oh, wow.
So that doesn't mean I'm the oldest, right? But almost.
No.
So yes, so as you can gather, I love being here. I love teaching here at the Fachhochschule. I am now the Director of Studies for Intercultural Management, which is the first bachelor taught in English here at the School of Management and at the Fachhochschule. In the meantime, starting this autumn, there will be 4 bachelors in English. So I'm very excited. I think that's what I'm most happy about, that since the beginning, I have been promoting internationality, starting off with encouraging students to study abroad, helping through teaching English. I'm also a teacher of English, especially for specific purposes and academic purposes, and trying to encourage students to communicate in a more international environment and feel comfortable also communicating in an international environment. And then in 2016, we started with Intercultural Management, the first international bachelor at the School of Management. So we're very happy about that. And we will be planning the
10-year
anniversary this year.
That's
exciting.
Wow.
Very, very exciting.
How are you celebrating the 10-year anniversary?
I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to reveal.
No
but there
spoilers.
will, of course, be a big celebration. The date is already set, so maybe I can reveal that because it's a very cool date.
Ooh.
It is the 26th of the 6th, 26.
Okay.
Oh.
So in other words, the
26th.
26th of June, 2026.
Wow.
So we're very excited. We're already conducting surveys, asking alumni, how they want to plan the event. Of course, there will be professors, giving talks. There will surely be parties. There will surely be time to network and share. And generally just, I think, see everyone again because thanks to Svetlana Buko and also Colin Hella, our program directors, we've done a great job, I think, at staying in touch with our alumni, which we find is very, very important to sort of keep that intercultural spirit going and help them settle also into the world of work afterwards. Yeah, so
sounds great.
It's really amazing.
I'm gonna have to mark that on my calendar, and everyone watching, please mark it on your calendar.
yeah,
We are all
it would be lovely if you all came and enjoyed the ICM vibe. Yeah, I think that would be really nice. Yeah,
And DMS vibe.
Yeah.
of course.
But it's not our anniversary. We have to.
We're a little biased.
Yeah, true.
That's okay. So am I. We all are.
A little bit, yes. We would like to also know a little bit of maybe what is your philosophy, what is your unique perspective with teaching and studies, and
Yeah, well, I also teach intercultural communication, and so obviously how to communicate effectively across cultures is sort of in my blood. It's very, very important to me. And so most importantly, I think also particularly for the ICM group, and I think how we've tried to also, spread now that DMS has joined. I think Bernhard and Svetlana get on very, very well. And it's lovely that this international space is expanding, and it's wonderful. Many people have commented on the positive energy that we now feel on campus, because before, even though there are lots of international master students studying engineering in the North Wing, right? We're in the South Wing in the School of Management, that now you see a lot of young people around. Obviously, the international students spend more time on campus communicating. So I think my primary philosophy is to encourage people to meet and to share their experiences, to support one another, to learn from one another, and in the classroom to create this sort of safe learning environment where people feel comfortable asking questions, making mistakes, learning from one another. But most importantly, I think asking questions. And hopefully, I was just at an event yesterday, and the students were saying, because we started last week with a new year of the part-time students, the German taught program. And I'm responsible also for the onboarding of students now across the School of Management and across the FH. I'm trying to use the time before, during, and after your studies to make you connect with your university more. And obviously connecting with your peers is a great part of that, and your professors. So great, this idea to hopefully help the students learn more about their professors and their philosophies. And they all felt welcome, and this idea of the professors also being passionate about their subject matter. And I think you probably all know, motivation is fundamental to learning, and learning is a social event. And so if I'm not motivated to learn, I will find it much harder to learn. And so I think if I'm passionate about my subject, then it's much easier, hopefully, for the students to become passionate and interested in the subject matter. So I think that is my primary philosophy, to not forget about motivation and the human factor, and that everything matters. Yeah, I think we often say in intercultural management, context matters. Yeah, so of course, if you're having a bad day, that's going to impact your ability to participate in class. But that's why I think creating this peer network is really priceless, so that whether it's the student reps or your colleagues, you feel like you have somebody that you can turn to. Or we were talking to the part-time students online last week, and that they know that if they're having a bad day because work is really bad, they can just say to their colleagues, tell their professors, look, I'm having a really bad time, work is really hard. and they will be there for one another. And then, when they're ready again, the colleagues can support them with the materials, help them find out what they maybe missed, and things like that. And I think that's what we really feel, particularly in ICM with this 10 years now. It's nice to hear how the alumni are still in touch with one another. They still organize get-togethers. Some of them are in Vienna, some of them are in Carinthia, some of them are all over the world. So I think that, for me, is fundamental, this social aspect of learning. And trying to create this safe space to promote learning.
That sums up, all the ideals of FH Carrington. You have students who are motivated to learn and to come together and to learn new perspectives, work with people of different backgrounds, and especially with this program, you can talk to professors and have more flexibility. We talk about in HR with Svetlana that you have to be an agile worker. You have to adapt and be flexible, and that's really important now in this modern working environment. So now having these skills and able to adapt to people's lives is
really important. Yes.
Yeah.
And now on a little bit more of a relaxed question. Okay. Could you tell us like a funny story or a funny like
maybe like share with us maybe like an embarrassing moment from teaching
or funny, something not embarrassing or funny.
Oh my gosh, really I don't know. Difficult to think about that now, because generally I have no problems making an absolute fool of myself in class, particularly as having studied linguistics. I specialized in phonetics and pronunciation, and my first master thesis was on the pronunciation of Corinthian school children speaking English. So, part of my passion is teaching pronunciation and presentation skills. So I also learned then in my teacher training that, Janet, you need to be aware that maybe not everybody wants to like show their tongue when they're practicing TH. So I had to kind of generally, calm down a little bit, as sometimes I'm maybe a bit over energetic or enthusiastic. So I don't know. I mean, I think generally I don't feel embarrassed in class. I mean, there might be cases where I feel embarrassed with my Austrian colleagues because they tend to be more formal and professional. And I think that's part of what I love about my position here and my ability to just, work with students. And I tell students basically, I can make a fool of myself in front of class, and we practice lots of pronunciation and word stress. And I think that's probably the situation where my students maybe think I should be embarrassed about myself when we're practicing our pronunciation. But I think it's all fun, and I hope that it encourages students to also just try.
Can you give us a quick little phonetics lesson?
Oh my gosh. Not the best. Oh my God.
Well, I have stopped focusing too much on sounds. Like, I mean, in my thesis, I focused like on particularly German speakers, funnily enough, even though they have the V sound in German with wer, wie, was, warum, Wien, when they see the W in English, particularly when it's written, so they don't actually say Vienna, even though it's Wien in German, they say Vienna.
Yes.
So there's this kind of like panic. There's something different about English to German. So rather than using what they know about German as English is a Germanic language, they somehow think everything has to be different and everything has to be hard. So just trying to raise awareness of the tricks that there are and the lessons that you have from your own language to help you learn a foreign language. Good. So yeah. Vienna, Wien, it's the same sound at the beginning. I'm not sure if that was the lesson you were waiting
totally
for.
Fine.
I'm saying I have noticed that actually with some of the German-speaking professors, they'll say like very, very instead of very, very or something. So
I honestly didn't notice.
No, and I think interesting is it has nothing to do with your ability to produce the sound.
No.
It is purely a perception.
Perception.
So I think that's what we all know about culture. It's always a matter of perception. Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, and then the last thing we want to do is to close out. What is some advice you can give to these incoming students the next year?
Be open. Bring fun and energy into the class. Be yourself. Be open to reflecting on who you are. My most valuable lesson I think that I've been trying to follow myself for the last 3 years now is don't take it personally. If you do ever feel uncomfortable in a situation or particularly offended, because I think one of the biggest differences often between cultures is some cultures are very direct, maybe also loud for your personal perception, and you might feel they're aggressive or rude. I still struggle with this, being British, where politeness is written with a capital P. And just not to take it personally, to remember that you're all speaking a foreign language, you are all in a foreign context, and to ask, to assume goodwill. I think that is our biggest lesson for ICM, that we always say you can't join the class unless you live by that number one kind of lesson, to assume goodwill. And if you're feeling uncomfortable, to ask or to tell somebody. You know, not to assume that somebody's trying to be rude or trying to insult you. So I think, and be motivated, I think, and we'll hopefully do our best to motivate you as well.
That's a really good advice. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's been great fun. So good luck with your other interviews.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to the results.
Okay, so now we're joined here by our other professor, Stafan Dreisiebner. Welcome to the Between Classes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the invitation.
Of course. Yes. So now we're going to ask you a couple questions about yourself. First, can you introduce yourself to our lovely audience?
Yes, of course. So I'm Stafan Dreisiebner. I'm here professor for digital business management. So as the job title already somehow implies, I'm teaching wide subjects that are related to digitalization. So by example, for international students, it would be business software and internet and web technology, and later on also things like project management systems. And also collaborative work, especially collaborative work related to AI.
Yes, we had Stefan for a couple classes related to collaborative work and business software, and we had a really nice time with him in the class as well.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I think also in collaborative work, we learned a lot to how to deal also with the AI in groups, not only just ourselves. So I think that was also really, really interesting. Yeah.
And you come from Austria as well, yes?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm originally from Austria. Actually, not from Carinthia. I was from Styria, from another part of Austria. Yeah, and moved here for the job. But I really like it here. It's a really nice, vibrant area. We have a vibrant community at our university, and the area around is really beautiful with all the lakes, the vicinity to the south. It's the mountains. It's really perfect all year round. So I really enjoy it.
I have to show this episode to my parents because they might be moving to Austria, and I have to say, oh, we have someone saying how beautiful it is.
Oh, that's really amazing.
Yes. And so first, I guess also, can you say, what is your unique perspective here teaching at FH?
So my unique perspective or research background, I would say, is on information management, and here especially on digital literacy. So developing digital literacies, researching on digital literacies, also personal information management. So how do I organize my personal information, but also in companies, how can I do that? How can I implement mechanisms? And also human information behavior is another pillar of my research. So how does digitalization impact us as humans, our personal behavior, by example, when we use our smartphones all the time, when we use social media. So these are really interesting perspectives and research areas. And of course, AI comes in a lot because it also influences again a lot how we deal with information. And all of this perspective I try also to bring into my teaching, also bring in current research results, current publications, and merge everything then together.
Yeah. So we did learn a lot about AI with Stefan as well.
Yeah. And a lot also, I think in business software was mostly like really interesting to create our own web page, like our own blog. Yeah. It was really fun, I think. It was really interesting to like think what should we do, and also take in account that we cannot we cannot break any copyright and things like that. And we learned about that really a lot, and it was really unique, I believe, honestly.
I had also heard from someone, another professor, they referred to you as like the rock star around here. Why do you think they say you're the rock star?
Oh, I'm really humbled. It's actually the first time I hear about that. It's probably because very active in research and in teaching, and recently last year I won also a teaching prize, the Astor Sandy, which is also a national prize by the National Ministry, and probably this connection with having this, and then also getting a position also in our research community. I've got president of the German Association for Information Science, which is also representing the research community. So these were two big successes in this year, quite very nearby. And I think probably this was one of the reasons.
Wow, congratulations, because that is a lot.
Thank you so much.
It's that, and also the fact that you walk with sunglasses around the...
So I try. I try to hide.
And now that we are in this mood of laughing and joking, could you tell us maybe like a funny story or maybe a little bit embarrassing that happened meanwhile teaching?
This is quite a tough question, because there are so many things happen sometimes. But actually what really happens a lot, like now, so really often we have a good climate in teaching, and we laugh a lot sometimes in between, but often this comes quite spontaneously out of the topic that we are talking, is then connected to a recent event or something else, and then everyone laughs, but it's really hard now to tell really something specific.
Really, I think also it's kind of like
But so no embarrassing moments of a banana peel on the ground.
I mean, what's sometimes really embarrassing is when you as IT professor have technical issues, and sometimes this can really happen because let's say, the projector that is always going off and on, and it's because there's some glitch with the connector cable, and you can't change it immediately. So these are sometimes some embarrassing moments, because when you are IT professor, everyone thinks, there can't be any issues because but also we are human, and sometimes things happen, especially some technical things about beyond our control. But sometimes this can be a bit embarrassing, because you're also talking about something, nobody sees the screen. But thankfully this doesn't happen usually quite often, but it happened once.
Technical issues, we have some people who join online often in your classes. What about that? Does it cause any issues, or do you prefer having classes online or having a hybrid class? What do you think?
I really like it. So I think it opens up a lot of flexibility. We take advantage here of the technical possibilities that we have today, and sometimes it depends on the subject, but from some subjects I really prefer actually to teach online. So by example, when I teach something more technical, when you show around students through a software interface, then when you are sitting, by example, on your own device or at home, then you have two screens. You are in your setting that you're used to. You have on the left screen something you can prepare for yourself, some additional notes, some results. On the right screen, you're showing something to the students. And it's much easier than when you're in a lecture hall and you probably have just your small screen of your laptop. So from the teaching perspective, it's much easier. But sometimes then when it's getting more interactive, also regarding exercises, then also teaching in person can be nice, because you can walk around, it's easier to interact. And therefore I think a mixture is important, that you have some in-person classes, some online classes, and then also depending on the setting, then you choose. And we have actually both of this and this mixture in our teaching. And I think this is also something that makes us also special, and which is also great for our teaching.
Yeah, we agree. I think a mixture of the two, of online and also in person, I think is actually a really good mixture. Yes.
And that's something what Janet had said earlier, that flexibility is so important in the school. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. So I think flexibility is, of course, an important aspect when it comes to self-organization. Also something that we want us to learn, of course, our students, so that you can also react. It's something we need in our daily lives too. And I think also for me as a teacher, it's also important to be flexible. So if settings change, if also to adapt and also to change also class settings on a short notice. Let's say we also had this, that there was heavy snowfall and students couldn't travel to class, then we spontaneously set up a hybrid teaching setting. And the good thing is we have in all of our lecture halls the equipment for that, so it's easily to be done spontaneously, and which is I think also great, and I'm happy to do that.
Exactly, that is really good. Well, for now, closing up a little bit.
First, can you give us some advice
for the
incoming students?
That's what I was going to say.
Yes.
No, like for closing, I was going to say, can you please?
I'm so sorry. I thought you were saying like we're going to close up.
No, I was going to say for closing up.
Please.
Okay. So for closing up, could you please give the new students an advice that they could take in account for starting now in this
definitely
semester?
So be open to everything you will see, and also don't be stressed, especially in the beginning. There is a lot of new setting, a lot of organizational things to consider, new IT systems, for example, new classes. It's completely different from going to high school to university. And therefore, try to stay calm, take it step by step, and especially also sometimes big classes, big amounts of things to learn might be overwhelming at first, or might look overwhelming at first. Just take small pieces, take it step by step, and then everything will figure out. And it was overwhelming for all of us, also for me when I was starting to study, and everything will figure out, so don't worry.
And now we're finally joined by our final guest of this episode, Eithne Knappitsch. So can you introduce yourselves to the audience, please?
Yeah. I'll talk to the audience. Hi, I'm Eithne Knappitsch. I'm originally from Ireland. I have been living and working in Austria for many years, and at the School of Management, I've been working since 2008. I'm a professor of intercultural management, which brings a whole diversity of topics in itself.
Yes, definitely. I think this is a perfect role for the school, who is so international, with all these different people from different cultures and backgrounds. It's a great place to be.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
So can you tell us a bit more about, why are you teaching here at FH, and what is your unique perspective, if you want to get into that as well?
I've taught in several different institutions, and initially when I came to Austria, actually I worked at the university in Klagenfurt for a couple of years. I really enjoyed that. One of the things that attracted me to the Fachhochschule was the focus on, practical, applicable implementation of theories, practices, ideas, and frameworks. So I really love the fact that we try to take everything we do, create experiential learning out of it, and have a practical component. So engaging with local organizations, institutions, I think that's incredibly valuable. So that was one of the main drivers in terms of coming to the Fachhochschule. And maybe in terms of unique perspectives, I think maybe what I bring, or what I hope to bring, is a way of getting people to think about unique perspectives. Certainly coming from the context that I grew up in a border context in near Northern Ireland, thinking a lot about, politics, culture, language, how all of these things interact, religion. I certainly have my own unique perspective on things, and
Yes, I think that's great, because we ourselves are from different countries, and also inside of our classes we are all from different countries, from different perspectives, from different cultural backgrounds. So that is actually something that also attracts international students to the Fachhochschule, I believe, and it's what makes us feel like welcome and
Can you share, how do you feel that you can, I guess, get that unique perspective for someone, or how can you help someone discover their own unique perspective?
Well, I think there's lots of tools and frameworks that you can use. I know we cover lots in class, but the starting point really is to have people guide people in reflecting about how they are as beings, how they communicate, how they like to work, what all that is informed by. And in many instances, people don't take the time to really think about that. But it's the starting point for everything. And, we know it's one of the top leadership skills is, a clear ability to reflect on action, decisions, interactions. So I think that's really the starting point. And then there are many other frameworks and tools that we use. And I think one of the things we really try to focus on is getting people to develop their observational skills. Yeah. Postpone things like judgment, think about things from a good positive intentions perspective. And while these are super simple things, actually to embed them into practices and workflows is not sort of self-explanatory.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting.
And sorry, as well as that, I mean, of course, we try to bring in, literatures and ideas from different cultural contexts, from different business contexts. So we try not to, only focus on the regional, but really try and bring in this diversity of experience and practices from elsewhere.
Yeah, because I remember also in our sustainability and ethics course that we had to do this "Are you biased?" also test.
Yeah.
And that was also like trying to ourselves to reflect into ourselves, and I think that was also a little bit opening to some of us.
Yeah, and it's really only the starting point, right? Because we're constantly in this process through all of our experiences of developing all the time new ways of thinking, new biases. So it's actually the practice of regularly engaging with these things and regularly reflecting on how we're interacting. That's incredibly useful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now, could you please tell us a funny story or a funny moment that happened during
we
classes?
heard a couple of funny stories earlier from
Stefan.
Stefan, yes,
and from Janet also,
yes.
that we, for example, Stefan commented that because he's IT professor, that is a little bit embarrassing when the equipment doesn't work.
Yes, when there's some tech problems, so trying to get your hybrid classes working or just online classes working.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I did have a situation at one point, I remember, it's quite a couple of years ago, where I came into work and we had a sort of, an interactive a circle set up in the room where we were, discussing whatever topic it was we were discussing. And we were talking a lot about, stress management, resilience, and how it can impact, just your day-to-day behavior and interactions. And then I looked down and I was crossing my legs like this and I thought, I don't know why I put on the blue shoes with these trousers randomly, and then I crossed my legs the other way and I was like, I actually have, so I had the same pair of shoes in two colours. So I had one of each. And then I said, okay, a clear sort of, impact of stress and lack of sleep is choosing two different pairs of shoes in the morning.
It's like, but that's just an icebreaker, exactly.
Like,
I'm not taking things too serious.
I think, and that's one of the things that I do well is laugh at myself. So
it was a fashion moment.
If you'd seen the combination, maybe another unique fashion perspective.
Exactly.
I remember there was one day at school, I think it was in high school, I came to school and I had my shoes on the opposite feet. And someone had pointed it out, but and I was like, I didn't notice because I always thought, like, why do my shoes feel a little off today? But I just didn't decide to look down. I was like, they feel a little strange. But someone was like, why are you wearing your shoes backwards?
Yeah.
But I actually, kind of like became friends with them after that.
Okay. A nice way to make friends then.
So I think
that's a fun. And it's perfect link to things like bias because it's that automatic process of not thinking, and that's how we make most of our decisions every day.
Yeah. Exactly.
So to avoid any other more, I guess, wardrobe mishaps or any other first day issues, what is some advice you can give to new students that are coming in when they're maybe feeling a little nervous, or if they're coming from another country here and having to get into the culture of being here in FH?
Yeah. Well, actually, we've just yesterday had our first virtual onboarding for international students. You know, I think that especially with international students, often you come into a new environment like this, you're away from home, there's a bubble. You end up in a bubble, which makes it difficult to integrate fully into the local communities. And, you know, we always ask the students, so what are their best, you know, their suggestions, their tips? And it's the very simple things of, you know, make yourself join a sports team that is not just full of, you know, your friends from the international classroom or the dorms. It's actually taking the time to go out of your comfort zone and try to engage. So all the local regional activities that you can do are helpful, and it's difficult. I know it's difficult. Also for local students, it's quite difficult to find their way on the other, you know, hand into an international group, maybe for the same reason. So it's really just consciously and intentionally going through the discomfort of getting to know others and being in situations that you maybe feel, you know, a little bit uncomfortable about. And the other thing I would say, because it's also my experience from the beginning coming as an international too, if you're learning the language and you can speak the language, everybody will probably always try to talk to you in English. Just continue in as good or as bad German or Corinthian as you have, and really, you know, make sure you don't fall into the habit of, you know, reverting always back to English, because people do like to, you know, practice their language skills, but also if you really want to be fully integrated, you need to be able to have that practice of, engaging.
Yeah.
Very true. I was saying, I think it is good. I do notice that sometimes when I'm trying to speak in German in public, and then they can maybe understand if I mess up at some point, or if I, you know, pause, they're like, oh, we'll speak in English to you. And I try to continue in German, but, you know, it's always a little rough. Sometimes there's a coffee shop that I go to where the guy tries to test my grammar a lot.
Yeah, okay.
Because he always teases that I need to become better in German. And he's like, okay, so today, what is this? What is this?
Okay, okay. Well, but there you go. That's good. So, yeah, again, that's going a little bit through the discomfort of, you know, being in a new environment and really being intentional about, wanting to.
Yeah. We will like then to close for today with this great advice.
We'll have a unique episode where Eithne will close for us. Actually.
Oh,
yes,
well,
please.
so wow. Yes, so I have to remind you to follow us. You will find us at between classes
_.
and but you'll find it here somewhere.
Yeah,
so,
here somewhere.
yeah, thank you for the invitation and thanks for listening to us today.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.